Welcome to our grandma's channel. Where are you watching from? Subscribe and let's dive in. I never thought I'd be standing at the gates of my own property, watching security guards I didn't hire tell me I wasn't welcome at my son's birthday party. But there I was, 62 years old, holding a gift I'd spent weeks picking out, being turned away from the ranch I'd built with my own two hands. Let me back up. My name is Margaret, and I've owned Clearwater Ranch in Montana for 35 years. My late husband Daniel and I bought it when it was nothing but dried grass and broken fences. We built it into a successful cattle operation, a beautiful home, and the place where we raised our only son, James. When Daniel passed 3 years ago, he left everything to me in the will. The ranch, the accounts, all of it. James was only 28 at the time, and Daniel wanted to make sure I'd be taken care of. We had an understanding, though. James lived in the guest house on the property with his wife, Brittany, and helped run the ranch operations. It worked perfectly, or so I thought. Brittany came into James's life 5 years ago like a whirlwind. She was beautiful, charming, and had a way of making my son light up. I welcomed her with open arms. I threw them an engagement party, helped plan their wedding, even gave them the guest house rent-free. I thought we were family. But after Daniel died, things started changing. Brittany began making little comments about how the ranch should be updated and modernized. She'd roll her eyes when I talked about keeping things the way Daniel and I had done them. She started calling me overbearing when I'd offer advice about the cattle or the land. I tried to brush it off. Maybe I was being too involved. Maybe I needed to give them space. Then came James's 31st birthday. Brittany insisted on throwing him a huge party on the ranch. I was thrilled. I offered to help with planning, catering, everything. She smiled sweetly and said, "Don't worry, Margaret. I've got this handled. You just focus on being a guest and enjoying yourself." I should have known something was wrong when she asked me to leave the main house for the afternoon so they could set up. I went into town, ran some errands, and came back around 6, when the party was supposed to start. That's when I saw the security guards at my own gate. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is a private event," the guard said, checking his clipboard. "Private event? Live here. I own this property," I said, completely confused. "Your name's not on the list. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." Called James immediately. It went to voicemail. Called again. And again. Finally, Brittany answered his phone. "Margaret, hi," she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "I'm sorry, but this party is for James's friends and the people who actually matter in his life. You've been hovering over us for too long, and honestly, he needs a break from you." "We both do." My heart stopped. "Brittany, this is my home. My ranch. Actually, we've been talking to a lawyer. James deserves his inheritance. You're living on property that should rightfully be his. We're going to contest the will. So enjoy your little power trip while it lasts, because this place will be ours soon enough. Don't ruin James's birthday by making a scene. Just go." She hung up. I sat in my truck at the end of my own driveway, shaking. Not from sadness. From pure burning rage. I could hear music and laughter floating from my property. I could see strings of lights I'd purchased twinkling over my patio. And I couldn't get in. I drove to my lawyer's office first thing Monday morning. Richard had been Daniel's friend for 40 years. When I told him what happened, his face went red. "They can't contest that will, Margaret. Daniel's wishes were crystal clear, and you were married for over 30 years. But if they want to play legal games, this could get ugly and expensive." "I don't care about expensive," I said. "What are my options?" Richard leaned back in his chair. "Well, they're living on your property, in a home you own. If you want them gone, you can evict them." "How long would that take?" "In Montana, if they refuse to leave, about 30 days after notice." "But Margaret, this is your son we're talking about." My son stood by while his wife humiliated me. My son didn't call me back. My son let me sit outside my own home. My voice cracked, but I kept going. "I need to think about this." I spent the next week trying to reach James. Every call went to voicemail. Every text went unanswered. Brittany had gotten into his head completely. So I did what any mother who'd been disrespected on her own property would do. I started making calls. First, I called the ranch's accountant. I removed Brittany and James from all ranch accounts effective immediately. The credit cards I'd given them for ranch expenses canceled. Their access to the ranch's business line of credit revoked. Then I called our ranch manager, Tom, who'd worked with us for 15 years. I told him what happened. He was furious on my behalf. Together we changed all the gate codes, the door locks on the main house and the barn, and the passwords to all the ranch management systems. Next, I called the utility companies. The guest house was on a separate meter that I paid for. I transferred all the utilities into James and Brittany's name. If they wanted to play house on my property, they could pay for their own electricity and water. The real kicker was the vehicles. The truck James drove every day, registered in the ranch's name. The SUV Brittany drove, also ranch property. I reported them both as company vehicles that needed to be returned. Within 48 hours of my little renovation project, my phone started ringing. Mom, what the hell is going on? Our cards aren't working. James's voice was panicked. Oh, James, so nice to hear from you. Did you have a good birthday party? Mom, don't start. Brittany said you were being dramatic about. I was being dramatic. I was kicked out of my own home, James. By your wife. Using security guards. At my own gate. She was just trying to give me a nice party without you hovering. Stop. My voice went cold. I have never hovered. I gave you both a home. I employed you. I welcomed Brittany like a daughter. And she repaid me by humiliating me and trying to steal my property. It's not like that. Then what is it like, James? Because from where I'm sitting, you let your wife disrespect me, you ignored my calls, and now you're calling me because your credit card got declined. Not because you realized what you did was wrong. Silence. The guest house is still yours to live in, I continued. But as of today, you're paying rent. Market rate. You'll also be paying for your own utilities, your own vehicles, and your own expenses. If you want to be independent and make your own decisions without your overbearing mother, then be independent. Mom, we can't afford. Then I suggest you and Brittany figure it out. You both seem to think you're ready to run this ranch without me. Prove it. Hung up. The next month was brutal. James and Brittany scrambled. They couldn't afford the rent I was charging, $1,500 a month, which was actually below market rate for a fully furnished 3-bedroom house. Brittany got a job at a local real estate office, which she hated. James picked up overtime hours at a feedlot 2 towns over. They stopped talking about contesting the will pretty quickly. Turns out hiring lawyers is expensive and they now had rent to pay. Brittany tried to apologize once, showing up at my door with tears in her eyes. But I could see through it. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry she lost her meal ticket. I don't accept your apology, I told her plainly. You showed me exactly who you are, Brittany. You're someone who bites the hand that feeds her. You turned my son against me. And you tried to take something that my husband and I built from nothing. I just wanted James to have what's rightfully his. Nothing is rightfully his yet. Daniel left everything to me because he trusted me to take care of it. When I die, James will inherit everything. But I'm not dead, and I'm not going anywhere. She left crying. 3 months after the birthday party incident, James came to me alone. He looked exhausted, thinner, older. Mom, can we talk? We sat on the porch of the main house, the same porch where Daniel and I used to have coffee every morning. I'm sorry, James said quietly. I should have stood up to Brittany. I should have called you back. I should have never let any of this happen. Why didn't you? He was quiet for a long time. She convinced me that you were trying to control us, that we'd never be able to live our own lives as long as we were under your thumb. She made it sound like getting the ranch was the only way we'd be free. And now I realize that we were free the whole time. You never controlled us, Mom. You supported us. There's a difference, and I was too stupid to see it. I wanted to hug him. I wanted to tell him everything would be okay. But I couldn't. Not yet. What about Brittany? James sighed. She's not the person I thought she was. When things got hard, when we actually had to work and pay bills, she started resenting me. She said I was weak for not standing up to you. That I should have fought harder for what I deserve. He shook his head. I'm filing for divorce. My heart broke for him even after everything. I'm sorry, James. Don't be. You were right about her. Dad would have seen through her too if he'd been here longer. He looked at me. Can I come home, Mom? Really come home? We worked on rebuilding our relationship slowly. James moved back into the main house, into his old childhood bedroom, while the divorce went through. Brittany moved out of the guest house within a month, back to wherever she came from. I never asked. James and I started running the ranch together again, but differently this time. I taught him the things Daniel had taught me. I showed him the books, the business side, the legacy we were protecting. He listened. He learned. He grew up. A year later, on what would have been Daniel's 68th birthday, James and I sat on that same porch. I'm going to change my will, I told him. I'm leaving you the ranch when I die, but with conditions. What conditions? That you never take it for granted. That you remember how hard your father and I worked to build it. And that if you ever marry again, you sign a prenup protecting this land. James laughed, but there were tears in his eyes. Deal. Did what I did ruin Brittany? I don't know about ruined. But I certainly showed her that you can't build a life by tearing someone else down. She tried to take my home, my legacy, and my son. What I did next wasn't revenge. It was justice. It was standing up for myself and teaching my son the difference between entitlement and earning something. Sometimes being a good mother means being tough. Sometimes it means letting your child fall so they can learn to stand on their own. And sometimes it means showing them that respect isn't given freely, it's earned. And nobody, not even family, gets to disrespect you in your own home. Thanks for watching part 1. Please subscribe and comment for part 2.